Have you ever had an unexpected guest come into your house? The atmosphere changes instantly. Children are excited, and the parents start to prepare for themselves, cleaning the house and making tea and snacks for them. The situation will change. When Jesus come into our lives will never be the same. We can see so many passages in the Bible that wherever Jesus went and touched the people, their life had changed. Today we are going to meditate on the topic called When He Comes, from Mark chapter 5, verse 21 to 43. We all know this incident very well. I'm not going to explain anything here. But when we come here, we can see a person called Jairus. His child is 12 years old. She is about to die now. Now, this man is coming to Jesus and asking Jesus to come to his house and heal his daughter. Who is this Jairus? He is a synagogue ruler. That means he is taking care of most of the things in the temple. Probably he is organizing the Sabbath, he is organizing the worship and the Bible reading there, and he is taking care of the building. That means he is very well respected in his society because he is also one of the religious leader there. Now he is in the situation where he needs help. He is coming to Jesus for help. He came to Jesus and he humbled himself, fell at Jesus' feet and asking Jesus, come to my house and heal my daughter. It is very risky for him to approach Jesus and taking him to his house because the Pharisees and the religious leaders, they will not allow him to do it because he is having good position in the temple. But now he forgot everything. He didn't bother about the society. He didn't bother about the people. Now he came to Jesus for his daughter's help. And Jesus agreed, and Jesus going to his house. While Jesus and his disciples were going to Jairus' house, another incident is taking place from verse 25 to verse 34. There is a woman who is suffering issue of blood. For the past 12 years, she would have taken medicines, she would have gone to doctors, but there was no healing. But when she heard about Jesus, this woman had a faith, if I touch a garment of Jesus, I can be healed. So she is coming to Jesus. There is so much crowd. People were following Jesus. Disciples were with him. Now she is coming and touching Jesus' garment. And immediately she was healed. This woman was physically weak. Financially, she would have been weak. Emotionally and socially, she was isolated. Now, definitely she needs help. Bible says in Leviticus chapter 15, verse 25 to 27, the women who are bleeding, they cannot live in the society. They cannot touch anybody. They cannot go to temple to worship. They have to isolate themselves and stay alone. Probably that is a situation this woman also would have been facing. Now when she heard about Jesus, she didn't bother about the people. She didn't bother about the society. She didn't bother about the Pharisees or scriptures of the law or whoever. But now she is having the faith, I want to touch Jesus so that I can be healed. She is taking the risky decision and coming and touching Jesus' garment, and now she is healed. Immediately Jesus understood the power which went from him, and Jesus turned and asked, who touched me? Imagine the situation. The large crowd is following Jesus. Disciples are there. In this crowd, many people would have touched Jesus. Jesus' garments would have touched many people's body. They didn't get any healing. But now this woman touched Jesus. Immediately she was healed. Why? Because she had faith. She had the faith that if I touch Jesus' garment, I can be healed. And also we can see in verse 34, Jesus is telling, daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering. See, she had the faith to touch Jesus. With that faith, she touched and she received healing. In this situation, Jairus is watching everything. Jairus is taking Jesus to his house. He didn't rush Jesus. He didn't say anything to Jesus. He was patiently waiting here. In this situation, people came and saying, "Your daughter is dead. Don't bother the teacher." But Jesus went with Jairus. He entered into his house. When Jesus entered into his house, the situation changed. What happened when Jesus went? Verse 36 says, "Don't be afraid, just believe." When he comes, fear turns to faith. When Jesus went to Jairus' house, fear turned to faith. Yes, when Jesus come into our lives, when Jesus come into our house, definitely situation will change. Our fear will turn into faith. Dear friends, you may go through a lot of fearful situation in your life because of your sickness, because of jobless situation, because of hopeless situation, because of the family issue. Life bring fearful reports from the hospitals, from doctors, but if Jesus comes, the fear will shift into faith. Secondly, when Jesus went to Jairus' house, the hopeless situation turned to life. When Jesus comes, hopelessness turns to life. Yes, verse 37 to 41 we can see. People are crying here. People are disturbed. They are crying, the daughters died. Now they have only option to bury the dead one. When Jesus came there, Jesus said, "Don't cry, don't disturb. Child is sleeping." People were making fun of Jesus. But Jesus made these people to go out. Jesus took the child's father and mother, few of his disciples, inside the house. Jesus said, "Talitha humi." That means, "Little girl, I say to you, get up," in verse 41. Dear friends, when Jesus speaks something, there is life. What happened? The next thing was, when Jesus comes, the sorrow turned into joy. People were crying and full of sorrow, but now they are full of joy. They are amazed. They are worshipping the Lord. The same situation will happen into our lives. When we allow Jesus to come into our lives, when we allow Jesus to live in our house, when we give priority to Jesus, He will change the situation. He will turn our mourning into joy. He will turn our sorrow into happiness. He will turn our hopeless situation into life. He will turn our fears into faith. What kind of fearful situation you are going through? I may not be knowing that, but God knows everything. You may not be able to share with anybody else in this world, but you can always share with God. He is always there with you. When He comes, the situation will change. What did this Jairus do? He was in a good position, but he humbled himself. He worshipped the Lord. He fell on Jesus' feet and worshiped. That is talking about humbleness. That is talking about worshipping Jesus, saying, "Lord, I cannot do anything. Though I am having good position, but I cannot do anything. I need your help." Can you surrender your lives to God in the same way? "Lord, I cannot do anything. I want you to interfere in my life. I want you to come into my life. I want you to do something new in my life. I want you to help me in this situation." Maybe like Jairus' daughter, hopeless, died situation you may be going through. People will say, "Everything is over. He cannot come back. She cannot come back." Do you have faith in the Lord? Jairus had faith in the Lord. People came and told him, "Don't disturb Jesus because your daughter has died." He didn't give up. Probably his faith would have increased more because just now he saw the bleeding woman's healing. Now, probably his faith would have increased, saying, "Anyway, Jesus is with me. He is coming to my house. He will raise my daughter up." Friends, our God will do great things. If Jesus comes, He will change the situation. But we need to have faith in Jesus. We need to humble ourselves. We need to worship Him. We need to invite Him into our life. When we do that, life storms can shake us like Jairus. Fearful news, hopeless situation, sorrowful heart. But when Jesus comes, fear turns into faith, hopelessness turns to life, sorrow turns to joy. His presence does not always remove the situation immediately, but changes the atmosphere of our heart. When that changes, our faith increased and He will do great things. May God help us to believe in Him in every situation without having any doubt, without having any kind of hopeless situation. Because He gives faith, He gives life, and He gives joy. May God help us to trust in Him, live for Him. God bless you. Have a blessed week. Amen. Amen.